Hi everyone, I'm here to do my June and July wrap-ups. This is going to be very quick because it's like the third time I've recorded this and the camera keeps shutting off and it's really frustrating. So I'm just going to go through this real quick. The first book I read was P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han, which I gave 5 stars. I loved it. I love Jenny Han. I lent this book out to some friends, so I don't have a physical copy right now. The next book I read was Backlash by Sarah Dare Lippman. I gave this book 3 stars. I really can't remember anything about this book. It was kind of your average online bullying kind of book. I literally couldn't even tell you what it was about. I feel like didn't even read it. The next book I finished was The Secrets We Keep by Trisha Lever. This is a story about 2 twins, Ella and Maddie, and they have a fight and they end up getting in a car accident and one of them dies and the other one takes on her identity, and just kind of the chaos that ensues after pretending that she is not who she is. So I gave that one 3 stars also. Then I read They All Fall Down by Roxanne St. Clair, which I gave 4 stars. This is a book about girls who are voted onto the hot list and then slowly they start dying or being killed off. And one of the girls is trying to figure out, first she's like, how do I even get on this list? And she's trying to kind of solve why everybody keeps dying, and as it gets closer and closer to her number. And it reminded me of like Secret Society kind of book, so I thought it was good. Interesting take on that. Then I read Never Never Part 1 by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was an interesting take on kind of time travel, and I thought it was really interesting, and I like how it flip-flops between the 2 characters on each chapter, and I can't wait to get to part 2. Excited to see what happens. And then lastly in June, the next one I read was This One Summer by Jillian Tamaki, which I gave 2 stars. I got it from the library. I really did not like this book. I really wanted it to be a fun summer graphic novel, and I thought it was awful. I really didn't like it. I'm really glad I didn't buy it because I'll never be reading it again. And the last book I read in June was Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this is about 2 girls who disappear and then one reappears, and they're trying to solve like why, or figure out what happened to the other girl, and she feels like the one who comes back is like, why do I feel like I'm being followed all the time? And so I thought it was a really interesting book. I gave this one 4 stars also. I really enjoyed that. And then in July, the first book I read was Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas, which I gave 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was very interesting, kind of reminiscent of things that actually happen, and events that have happened in foreign countries when kids go on spring break and stuff. So I thought it was very interesting. A group of friends all go to Aruba and then one of them gets killed, and then it's, kind of every man for himself. So I thought it was a very interesting book. Then I read Mind of Winter by Laura Cassis. I have no idea. I gave this 3 stars. I thought it was really bizarre. It's about a couple who adopts a child from Siberia, and kind of all this weird stuff. It reminded me of the movie Orphan. It was really bizarre, kind of creepy, but it was good. I won't read it again, but it was an enjoyable book. Then what else did I read next? All the Truth That's in Me by Julie Berry, which I gave 3 stars. I don't even remember what this book was about actually either. This is about 2 girls, 2 girls who disappears, one comes back, and like her tongue's been cut out, and like she can't talk, and her mother's like hiding her. She doesn't want anybody to know that she can talk, and be able to tell what happened to her and who did it and what. So it's interesting to see how she comes out of that and how she grows as a character. And I can't remember what her name, or Judith is her name, but I thought that was a good one. Then I read Nantucket Blue by Leila Howland, which I gave 5 stars. This is exactly the kind of book I want to read in the summer. I love this kind of sweet contemporary love story. It's really cute, about a girl who's supposed to spend the summer on Nantucket with her best friend, and then something happens and she is kind of uninvited, but she wants to go anyway, and so she goes and she meets a guy, but it's not the guy who she thought it was going to be anyway. So it was really cute. I really enjoyed this book. Fun summer book. Then I read The Probability of Miracles by Wendy Wonder, which I gave 4 stars. I love this cover. It's so pretty. This is an interesting book about a girl who has had cancer, and she's kind of been re-diagnosed, and they've told her like there's kind of nothing we can do, so sorry. And the mother's not gonna have it. She's like, we're gonna go to this place that my friend told me about called Promise, Maine. And all these really amazing things start happening, all these miracles, and like flamingos where they've never been before, and like at every night there's like whales and dolphins swimming around, and like so things that kind of just amazing miracles. And she starts to like find the miracles in everyday life, and this was a really beautiful book. I'm glad I read that one. Then I finally finished listening to The Husband's Secret by Liane Moriarty, which I gave 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I really loved listening to it in audio because it's Australian, and so hearing the voices with an Australian accent was just amazing, and just brought the characters and the story to life, and the way that they said things, and like certain words they use, which, you know, I couldn't get into it when I tried to read it, and I just really enjoyed listening to this book on audio. So I actually have Big Little Lies on audio, which I'm looking forward to listening to also, because it's read by the same person. It was just amazing. Then the next book I read was Where Rainbows End by Cecilia Ahern, and this is also known as Love, Rosie. This is just a UK like old version of it that I had. This was really good. I love the way this was written. This is 4 stars for me. I love that it was just a series of emails and letters, and it was just a really fun story. It was frustrating because they kept missing each other and missing their opportunities to be together, and it was so hard to like see how they felt about each other, but they just kept missing their opportunities to be together, so that was so hard to read and like not just be like, ah. But it was a really good book. And then the last book I read in July was The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith, which I gave 5 stars. I loved this. I'm so glad I finally picked it up. It was so cute, so unrealistic, but I just loved it. It didn't matter. I don't care that it was like love at first sight kind of thing. I mean, it was just really cute. Happen to miss your plane, and how fate just works its magic sometimes. And it's just a really enjoyable book. I hope that the other books that I have by Jennifer E. Smith will be equally as good. I hope to get to one of them soon. Who knows? But I really enjoyed that. So those are all the books I read in June and July, and I will be back with my August TBR and a couple of book hauls and a couple of parts. So thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.